Let me share the 13 questions that will save your trading. So this is going to be a special video which I think has the potential to change how many traders approach their trading. And I categorized the 13 questions into different categories, obviously. So in the first part, we will talk about the concepts that you need to do and you need to ask yourself before you enter the trade. Then you need to look at what are you going to do when you're in the trade. And finally, what are you going to do after you exit the trade? And why are you going to do this? Many traders lack confidence in themselves, in their abilities, in their trading strategy, in pretty much everything, especially if you are starting out or you are struggling as a trader. You need to build confidence, and the easiest way to build confidence is through removing uncertainty. Uncertainty is something that is haunting a lot of traders, and it's often at the origin or it's the foundation of why traders, they are just not seeing the results, they can't follow their trades, they're all over the map, they don't know what to do and when to do it and how to do it. And those 13 questions have the goal to help you remove as much uncertainty as possible so that you can trade with confidence. So first of all, we need to ask ourselves, which markets do you trade? And don't just say, yeah, I'm a Forex trader, yeah, I'm a stock trader, I trade commodities. That's not good enough. You need to be very, very specific. For me personally, I have a list of Forex pairs that I trade. And I know exactly which Forex pairs I trade, which commodities I trade, which CFDs I trade. I even go so far as when I do my market preparation, I have a set order of the Forex pairs that I go through and how I go through them. And you need to be very, very specific. Know in advance which markets do you trade, then set up your broker platform or your charting platform in a way that helps you to structure your chart analysis. Don't just be all over the place. Don't just jump around here and there and then you look at something new. You need to be very, very specific. You want to avoid jumping around at all costs. You need to be very, very consistent in your approach. And so it starts with being very specific about knowing which markets do you trade. So make a list of the Forex pairs that you trade and be very clear about that. Second, which time frames do you trade? Very important as well. I see too many traders, they are jumping all around. Sometimes you find them on the 1 hour, then on the next set of questions, they ask me something about the daily chart. And then a few minutes later, they ask me about what is happening on the 15-minute chart. This is obviously very dangerous because every time frame has a very different or has a different set of requirements. What you need on the 5-minute chart and the 15-minute chart is very different from the daily chart regarding emotional profile that is required from the trader. On the lower time frames, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, you're going to have a lot of trading signals within a day, so you need to be very emotionally stable. When you have a loss, you need to shake it off and you need to be focused and take the next trade without any hesitation. So if you want to trade the lower time frames, ask yourself if you are really emotionally stable and if you can handle that. On the higher time frames, things move slower. You have more time to think, you have less trading opportunities, and you need more patience. Obviously, there is no, this is better than this, there is no good or better or worse. It really comes down to you as a trader. What is your set of skills and what is, what fits, which time frames fit here. So for me personally, I am a medium swing term trader. So I usually trade the 2-hour, 4-hour and the 12-hour. Those are my preferred time frames. And you need to be very specific. So write it down and ask yourself, where do you see your strength? Number 3, when do you prepare your trading? So many traders waste a lot of screen time. They are often very unproductive. They don't know exactly what they are going to do when they sit down in front of their charts. They just flip around the different time frames, then they hunt signals, and then somehow they hope to stumble over a trading setup. And this is not the way how professional traders operate. You need to be very clear once you sit in front of your screens and once you sit in front of your trading desk, you need to exactly what are you going to do right now? And even before that, you need to be very clear about your schedule. In the morning, 8 to 9 a.m., I'm going to look through all my Forex pairs that I have defined in step 1, on the time frames that I have defined in step 2, and then I'm going to look through all of them one by one, and I'm trying to create my trading plans. I'm looking for what is happening and what is potentially tradable during the day. And then you have set the schedule, you know exactly when to do that. You could do the same as well for when do you check your charts during the day. Instead of randomly pulling up your trading platform every 30 or 40 minutes or at random intervals whenever you have a free minute, be very clear about when you follow up on your trades. When do you do your your night preparation, your evening preparation? Be very, very clear about that. Don't waste screen time, and also don't be all over the map. This is going to be the common theme here. Many traders, they just jump around without knowing exactly what they're looking for. Then when it comes to entering a trade, you need to exactly know where do you want to enter a trade. For example, let's say you want to trade the euro US dollar because a potential setup is forming there. And then you need to ask yourself, okay, what has to happen and where does it have to happen for me to actually get into the trade? What are the criteria that I require for the trade to trigger, and what will get me into the trade? Is it just a breakout at a certain level? Is it a move or a signal on a certain indicator? What do you exactly need? And you need to be as precise as possible. What has to happen for you to trigger and to enter the trade? Number 5, what has to happen to cancel the trade idea? It's not only important to know when you're about to take a trade, but also what will happen that will cancel this trading idea. It's very, very important. Many traders don't ask themselves when it's time to skip a trade. This is important because if you only look for, okay, I want to trade this market, I want to trade it so bad, then you're going to look over and you're going to neglect all the signals that are not in line with the trading signal and with the trading idea. Really important as well. Number 6, is this really a trade that you love? And you can ask yourself, especially if you're a technical trader, you need to ask yourself, is the setup that I'm looking at, does it look like all the other trades that I usually take? And this is actually a very, very good guideline for technical traders. So if you use price action, if you trade patterns, if you use technical analysis, all your trades should roughly look very, very similar. For me, for example, almost all my trades look very, very identical. And if I see that a trade doesn't look like the other ones, I know immediately that there's something wrong. So ask yourself before you enter a trade, is this a trade that you really love, and does it really look like all the other trades? That's a very, very quick way of analyzing if you're about to do something that is not according to the plan. Number 7, where will you place your stop loss? So this is even done before you enter a trade. When I am about to enter the trade, I know before I pull the trigger where my stop loss will go. I know exactly where I will put my stop loss, where the trade idea is wrong. Don't set your stop loss and don't delay this question and this point until you are in the market, because as we all know, there's this famous quote, the last moment of objectivity is before you enter the trade. Once you're in the trade, all the good intentions go out the window. When you see that money is on the line, when your account balance goes up and down, you cannot think and act rationally anymore. So before you enter the trade, ask yourself, where will the stop loss be? Number 8, where does your target go? Also very important. And this question also needs to be answered in advance. Where does the target go? When will you exit a trade for a profit? And then stick to the plan. Don't get greedy somehow. Don't deviate from the plan. Stick to the plan. Number 9, how much risk do you want to take on the trade? And think about it in terms of percentage from your trading account, and also lot based. If you're, for example, a Forex trader or you trade CFDs, know exactly. Once you have your stop loss distance figured out, you can figure this out very, very easily. There are thousands or at least dozens of position sizing calculators. You put in your trading account size, then how much risk you're willing to take, and then you get the amount of lots that you need to enter in the position. You need to do this as well before you enter the trade. Number 10, do you exit a trade early? Under which circumstances will you exit a trade early? This is important. Don't delay trade management decisions until you're in the trade, until the price is already gone in your favor or against you, because then you will act emotionally and impulsively. Have a plan for scaling out if this is something that you're going to do. If your trading plan doesn't account for scaling out of trades, also be very clear. For me personally, I will not scale out of my trades. I have tested it and it doesn't work for my trading approach. And that is also in my trading plan. Number 11, are there news coming up or is the weekend coming up? And what are you going to do when this happens? So take a look at the news calendar in the morning. Ask yourself, okay, there's a specific news item coming up later in the day. I'm going to be in the trade, what I'm going to do with this trade. Don't just wait 5 minutes before the news come up and then you start panicking and you do something impulsively. Have a plan before it happens. Number 12, when do you journal your trades? This is important, again, like in the morning when you are sitting down to plan your trading day, also have a plan of when you are entering your trades in the journal. I know from experience that journaling is not the most fun activity that you can imagine. So it's really important that you have a plan. Okay, at the end of my trading day, from 6 p.m. until 6:30 p.m., I'm going to journal my trades and I'm going to enter and make the input. Also, how? What are the inputs that you're looking for and how are you entering the trades? You collect screenshots as well. And number 13, when do you review your trades? So after you have done your trading journal and everything is in order, you also need to obviously check back in with your trading journal to analyze what did you do, how did you do, how was your trading behavior, did you respect the plans and not, what are the actions that you need to take. So be very clear, when do you review your trades. For me personally, for example, I do a weekly and a monthly and a quarterly review. And I look for specific things in my trading journal depending on the review. Obviously, on a weekly review, you don't need to go as deep. You just want to get a general idea of how you are performing. Are there any obvious flaws in your trading? Is there anything that you need to address right away? Whereas compared to a quarterly review, you can go much deeper. You can look at, okay, has the market actually changed? Do I need to make some changes in my take profit or trade management approach? And is there something happening that I need to look for? So don't just say, okay, I'm going to have a weekly review every Saturday. Also know exactly what you're looking for. And then you can optimize your time. Actually, you will need less time compared to the general approach. Many amateur traders, they are always in front of their computer. They are always somehow busy, but they never get actually anything done because they are just wasting their time and they're very unproductive. But once you have established such a routine and you know exactly what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, then you can be very targeted. You actually will spend less time. The time that you spend is much more productive, and you will get actual results out of the things that you're doing. So I hope you can use this video and the tips to structure your trading in a better way. And ask yourself also, where do you lack some guidance? Where is actually, from the 13 questions, what haven't you covered in your trading approach? And then look for ways to plug it and look for ways to just optimize your trading in general. And then I'm sure you will see a big improvement in your confidence, in your seriousness, in the level of professionalism that you bring to trading. And then eventually it will also show in your trading results.